Welcome to Unholy Vibes. It's me, Alex, your host, the one and only. And today I am here with a brand new, very special friend, Brittany.
Hi guys.
Yes. Like others from season 2, Brittany and I met on TikTok. And I've met a lot of awesome guests on my TikTok because I scroll through lives and I just say, hey, have you seen a ghost? I run this podcast. I try and get out the pitch in like one short message. And every so often I come across someone who goes, I got one for you. I've got several stories for you. And it doesn't always have to be ghost, as a reminder. It can be paranormal. It can be not paranormal. So anyway, go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell the people who you are, what you do, what you got going on. And then we can dive right into your wonderful stories.
Perfect. Well, my name is Brittany. I'm from Ontario, Canada. I'm 39 years old. I have 2 kids and I'm married. We've moved around a lot. My husband was in the military for a few years. So since a kid, I've moved from house to house to house to house. So I don't know if it's something that has followed me or if it's just something, I don't know, that's just in every house that I go to. So that's my stories about my sleep paralysis demon.
We've had a few guests mention like sleep paralysis stuff, and that whole thing is wild to me. And the other part where you said it might be something that follows you from place to place to place. I've had a couple guests where I just was sure that it was attached to them or something they had, or maybe it's just you have terrible luck moving into
Yeah.
places that are a little spooky. So yeah, sorry. Go ahead, give us the timeline here. Spare no detail. Give it to us all. And if you're watching and I keep looking down, it's because my monitor is down and my camera is up. So
Okay.
if I'm looking down, it's because I'm like making sure everything's running smoothly here. So don't worry about that if you're audio only. And
Perfect.
please continue.
Okay, so my first story starts when I was only 18 or 19 years old. My grandmother was really, really sick. She was in palliative care in the hospital. She had cancer. So we knew that she was going to pass away. We didn't know when. I went to sleep one night. I woke up. I could not move anything. I was in a bunk bed, which is even more creepy because it was like I was in a cavern. I was in a basement, super spooky. There was no doors. So right across from me was this curtain, and the curtain kept swinging open, and I was laying there just with my head sideways. I couldn't move any part of my body, and the curtain wouldn't stop moving. And all I heard was Brittany, Brittany, Brittany. And eventually, when I was able to wake up, I got up. I ran upstairs, and my mom, who didn't live with me, was in the kitchen saying that we had to rush to the hospital because my grandmother was going to pass away. I have chills. So I think it was her calling me, letting me know that she was leaving, but it somehow happened in conjunction with the sleep paralysis. So that was the first time it ever happened. And it's happened multiple times since then. My other 2 stories are definitely more scary, but that just kind of gives you the timeline of when things started.
So with that story, how old were you again?
I was in my late teens, 19 or maybe 20.
Okay. And do you think that's like the earliest instance of something paranormal-ish or paranormal adjacent happening to you?
No, when I was a kid, I had weird things happen to me too.
Okay. I'd like to get into that, but this makes me think that in general, you're sensitive to these sorts of things, yeah?
Yes. Mhm.
Are you religious at all?
I am. I'm a Christian.
Okay, same. I've never been super sensitive. Not that I've never felt anything, right? But it's like when the blip shows up on the radar, it's like, ah, there it is.
Yeah, and I get ear ringing. I get ear ringing, and when I get my ear ringing, I know I'm trying to get like a message or something's gonna happen.
Oh, interesting. I've never heard of that before. That's fun.
They say if it's in this ear, the spirits are trying to tell you something, and if it's in your left ear, that they're just trying to warn you of something.
Never heard of that before. This is fun. Okay.
I only found this out recently.
Okay,
I
so
asked
that's
my
more of
friend,
like a modern
yeah,
thing.
I asked
Okay.
my friend who's a psychic medium what it meant, and I was like, "Do I just have ear damage?" She was like, "No, you definitely don't.
Yeah, you have
Maybe in both
tinnitus. That's
ears."
all it is.
Yeah,
You just have tinnitus, and it's like, is that the
right.
spirit or am I going deaf?
Exactly.
um,
Yeah, I'm one of those people. I have lots of incidents. I'm not like an exorbitant amount, but I definitely have a few.
enough to come on this show.
Yeah.
So I asked all that, and I ask all my guests that where they lie on with spirituality, religion, things like that. whether they're lifelong Christians or any religion, spiritualism, like any of that, how long they've
Mhm.
been in it, because to me it all has a slight effect on who they are. I met other people who are straight up skeptics, agnostic, or atheist that who have experiences they can't explain away. And what then, right? It's fun to talk about.
Yes.
Okay, that's not the youngest you were. And if you feel comfortable talking about earlier years, like how young were you when you experienced your first paranormal experience?
The first thing that I remember, I don't know if it's paranormal or it was just an out of body experience, but when I had to get my tonsils and adenoids taken out, I clearly remember it. I was 4. I remember watching myself being put to sleep on
Mm,
the table, and I watched myself. And then after that, I was probably between 10 and 12 at the same house that the first sleep paralysis happened at. And it's the weirdest story. I was spinning chocolate milk in the glass. You know how you put the chocolate milk and you spin the spoon?
yep.
Okay, I left it on the glass. I went upstairs to grab something and I came back down. The spoon was slowly spinning around the glass and the glass was moving across the counter.
Okay. And were you gonna keep this from me if I hadn't have asked?
Probably.
Oh.
Yeah, it was a crazy experience. I've only told a couple people because it would make me sound a little crazy because, skeptics, right? But I was not baked. I was little and I remember it. And my sister had paranormal experiences in that same house. So,
Right.
yeah.
That's so funny. Well, thank you for sharing with me
Yeah.
and the listeners. Those are the ones that I like getting, because sometimes people are like, I didn't even remember this thing until just now.
Yeah.
And
If that has always stuck with me, seeing that, I didn't even know what to think. It was, I don't know.
yeah, nor do I, but now I can't stop picturing it. And it's things like that that stick with me. And
Do you find it weird to like mix like the spiritual stuff, like the spooky stuff with the Christian stuff? Because there's a lot of people that say, oh, you can't mix the two, and I don't believe that.
that's a great question. Yes and no. So I'm very secure in my faith.
Me too.
Uh,
I know where I'm going.
and I know there's a lot we don't know, no
Mhm.
matter what religion you are, Christian or not, right? The point I'm getting at, there's there's more we know about fictional universes than we do our own, because
Of
people have
course.
made fictional universes, whether it's a space thing, or people know more lore about Star Wars than they know about how God works, because we only know so much. And
Yeah.
so I don't know what specific sect of Christianity you are, because a lot of them believe differently, right?
I'm Baptist.
Okay, so I'm a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints,
Okay.
LDS for
Yep.
short. Mormon was what people used to call them. Okay. And
Yep.
there's a lot of misunderstandings about the LDS church. But even then, we use the King James version of the Bible on top of the Book of Mormon, right?
Mhm.
Well, I believe that we have power over these things. I believe that all matter is spiritual matter first and then physical. And I believe that spiritual matter is more fine and pure and not as distinguishable to the physical eye, because we don't really need to see any of that right now. We have to worry about our lives, what
Exactly.
we're doing here on earth. So it doesn't really matter if it's real or not for like our salvation, right? I don't need to know if ghosts are real. How many ghosts does it take to
Exactly.
turn on a light bulb? Who
And I feel
cares?
like if you're not trying to, I feel like if you're not trying to like summon demons or, you're doing things like maliciously, like to try to like,
Yeah,
summon like a bunch of demons or like, try to bring back like, I don't know, the devil or something, then you're fine. If your intentions are pure, like me talking to my dad yesterday. My dad was a Christian. I'm a Christian. Now, whether that was my dad I was talking to, that's another question because they say sometimes spirits can imitate, but there was one word that was said yesterday, and it was simpleton. My dad always said that word because he only had a grade 4 education.
simpleton.
Yeah, and that just hit me right in the heart, and I just started bawling. It was so emotional. It was really cool.
Yeah. And who's to say that wasn't a legitimate experience?
Exactly.
You're sensitive to spiritual matters. I'm not. That would not have happened for me. Ouija board, I would never go out of my way to use one, but if I did, I doubt anything would happen.
I have a Ouija board story, but I'll tell that for another time. I
Yes,
have a really scary Ouija board story.
I want to hear it tonight if we have time. And here's the thing, we can always do 2 episodes if we're running out of time.
Okay.
We're chilling. But the point I'm
Perfect.
getting at, to make a long answer longer, how do I feel about mixing it all? I feel fine because I know that I'm protected. I know that we as physical beings are more powerful than anything spiritual.
Mhm.
So, anyway, I'll shut my trap now and you can move on to some real banger stories. I'm excited. I apologize for being so long-winded.
Okay. So I'm going to read them off. Okay. So, a second story after we moved out of that house because my grandma passed away, we packed everything up and we moved to a new house. I lived with my grandfather because my grandma obviously was sick. He didn't want to be alone. So I moved with him. We moved into this house. And right from when we moved into this townhouse, we felt something was off, both of us. We didn't know what it was. My grandpa said that he constantly heard somebody saying, Sandy, Sandy. It was like the wind would come through the house and say Sandy.
Who's Sandy?
So that's my grandpa. That's his name. So
Okay.
he thought it was like my grandma calling him or something. Same thing that happened to me. So that connected. Anyways, we were only living there for about probably a month when we moved in after she passed away and everything happened. So he went on a vacation. I was at the house by myself before my boyfriend was coming over just for one night. And my grandpa said, well, instead of sleeping in your single bed, since I'm not going to be here, you can have the king size bed. So it was my first time ever sleeping in his room. I was like, okay, I'll sleep in there. Slept in his room, slept with the lights on. I was sleeping. It was like 3 a.m. and I woke up. I could not move any part of my body. I was frozen like this, just staring up. I could only blink my eyes. I looked up. This freaks me out every time I talk about it. I looked up and there was this huge, it was almost like a mist, smoke, big black mass above me. And it was coming down on top of me and it was crushing my chest. I couldn't breathe. I could not breathe. I could only blink my eyes. And I just prayed and I prayed and I prayed for it to go away. And it went away. And when I got back up, I felt like so much time had passed, but it was only a few minutes. I felt that the presence of whatever was there was still in the house with me. I stayed up all night. I had scratches up and down my arms. Yeah. And I called my boyfriend and I stayed up all night. And he came over the next night and we went and stayed at my mom's house. And yeah, I was scared of that house ever since. I would never go in the basement. I wouldn't do laundry. Yeah.
First of all, that is scary. So, sleep paralysis, yeah, maybe, but those scratches, do you think you were so constrictive and like spasming, you scratched yourself like so, do you think? Or what?
I couldn't move. I was literally stuck. I could only move my eyes.
Oh,
I
that's
couldn't
right.
even move my mouth. Only my eyes could move. And it felt like I was stuck like that for hours, but it was maybe only 5 minutes. Like it wasn't very long.
Wow. And there were scratches. I've seen a couple other examples. No one who's been a guest, but other people I've talked with shown me pictures of scratches on their back. That is terrifying. And sleep paralysis is one that I have not conflicting, just mixed thoughts. Because a lot of people are like, oh no, it's purely just a brain body thing, like a weird something and such is not communicating, so blah 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 blah. I obviously am not well versed and I don't, but I've talked to people that have had sleep paralysis and it's shadow figures, or there's the whole thing with the sleep paralysis demon, right? You see disturbing things. My brother got sleep paralysis. He trained himself to give it to himself, apparently. And he saw like giant bees, like honeybees. Like what? I don't
That's
know.
so weird.
Yeah,
That's weird.
exactly.
Mine was big black mist smoke. It was so thick. And felt like, even though it was a mist, it was crushing my chest. Like it felt like it was sitting on top of me. Like I could physically feel it pushing down on me. And all I could do was pray. And at that point, I wasn't even a Christian. And all I could do was pray.
Yeah. Ooh. Okay, so you have scratches, you call your boyfriend, you stay up all night. Does this happen again? Does anything else happen while your grandpa was away?
No, well, grandpa was away. We went and stayed at my mom's because I didn't want to
Oh,
stay in the house anymore.
that's
We
right.
only lived in that house for about 8 months. We sold it and we left.
Jeez. Okay. That's probably for
Yeah.
the best. Okay, continue, please.
So that's what happened in that story. So in my third story, this is the freakiest one. This was after all of this had happened. So I'm kind of going in chronological order. We were getting ready to move to a new house. So this was like the big shebang. Nothing has happened to me since this. And I hope that it doesn't happen again. This is when I really started to believe in God. So everybody was in the garage having a party. They were all drinking and whatever they were doing. I was in the basement. I wasn't feeling good. So I fell asleep on the couch. I was laying face down, which the sleep paralysis has never happened to me face down except for this one time. I fell asleep face down on the couch and I was just having really weird dreams. It was an odd experience. Like time was passing by like extremely slow. I don't know if it's because I was sick. I was laying on my stomach and my feet were kind of hanging off the couch a little bit.
Mhm.
And all of a sudden, it felt like two hands just wrapped around my ankles and just pulled me back as far as they could. And half my body was off the couch. I was frozen. And then I opened my eyes and nobody was there. Nobody was there. I didn't have scratches or anything that time, but that led to dreams. After that experience led to dreams about whatever this figure was.
I don't like that.
Yeah, that was the most terrifying experience, and I was so happy we were moving out of that house.
But you had just moved in, right? Is what you said?
That was from the previous house. This was another house that we moved to after that house because that house was so freaky that we just didn't want to be there anymore.
So how long had you been in this newer house before this experience happened?
Probably like maybe 2-3 years.
Oh,
We moved in with my mom. My grandpa ended up getting his own house, so we moved in with my mom. We were getting ready to move to a new house we bought, me and my husband.
okay. Ooh, okay. When there's physical interactions like that, the scratches for me something else, right? Like it's not on the same level, I mean. But
Yeah.
when you get yanked or your hair gets pulled, something like that, because I've had people tell me about in the middle of the night when they're in bed, the leg gets yanked.
Yes. I thought somebody was playing a joke on me and I went running out to the garage once I got up and I ran out to the garage and started screaming at everybody. Why would you guys do that to me? Who pulled my leg? Like, what are you guys doing? They're like, pull your leg. What are you talking about? Like, nobody had any clue what I was talking about.
And that's even worse because then it's like, are you guys gaslighting me or am I going crazy or did something
I
really
felt
just
crazy.
happen? Yeah.
Yeah, I felt absolutely insane. Like nobody believed me. I made he was my boyfriend at the time, but my husband, I made him come down in the basement with me. He wasn't allowed to go back out in the garage. I was like, no, we're not doing this.
No alone time. Can't do it. Not here.
No.
Okay. Yeesh. Okay. That freaks me out. You said after this, so there's dreams, but what about any other interactions?
So since that, there was no more interaction. I started more getting into like Christianity and stuff like that, and just praying. And we moved to the new house, and nothing happened at the new house.
So
It was
how
a new
long ago?
rebuild.
Oh, sorry.
Oh gosh, that was probably about 10 years ago now.
Okay. Good streak
Yeah.
of wins and nothing happening. Excellent.
Not nothing happening because I do see shadow people all the
Right.
time. I see shadow people, but just no more sleep paralysis.
No more sleep paralysis. No more getting yanked out of couches or bed.
No,
No more yanks. That's good. That's a win in
but
my book.
I felt physical touches. Like I felt something touch me and stuff like that, but like nothing violent, like the yanking off the couch or the scratches.
That's good.
Yeah, it's great.
So tell me about some of the dreams you were having after.
It's actually the exact same dream multiple times. Nothing ever changed. So the dream that I kept having after this was me laying in a field. It was like early morning, dusky, very gloomy day, dewy. I remember the ground being very wet. And I was laying in like kind of in a laying sitting position. It's weird. And I was in a field. And from behind me, I knew something was coming. And I knew I was dreaming. And I knew that there was something behind me and it was coming towards me. And I could hear the footsteps slowly coming towards me. And then all of a sudden, just on the back of my neck, this hot, stinky, disgusting breath in my ear, just saying all kinds of awful things. I can't even remember what they were saying and don't even know if it was in the language, but I know it was disgusting. And I couldn't wake up. I was like, you need to wake up. This is a dream. You need to wake up. This is a dream. and I couldn't physically wake up. So I don't know if it was maybe the sleep paralysis was going to start, but I couldn't physically wake up.
Right. You were kind of stuck in
I
this
was stuck
dream
in
state.
this dream. And it's that exact dream happened to me multiple times. I haven't had that one in a couple months, so.
That's good. Dreams are so fascinating, and our brains are very powerful little meat machines. They're crazy.
They are.
Our brains are crazy because I've had reoccurring dreams as well. And as a younger child, 3, 4, 5 years old, I would have night terrors, and I'd have reoccurring night terror. And throughout my entire life, I'd have reoccurring dreams, whether they were scary or not, neither here nor there, but I'd have the same dream, not like every night, but like maybe once a month. One of them felt like it was like once every 6 months, but when I had it, I was like, I remember this dream. It's so specific and detailed and distinct. And
Yeah.
I have some lucid dreaming to where I'm very aware of what's going on, and I just choose to not shatter the illusion because I like my dream. And even when I have scary, scary dreams now, it doesn't bother me as much as it did, because it's like, that was interesting. I wonder what that was all about. And some people say your brain is just decompressing and processing information and data, whatever. Some people say that, dreams are like visions and you should learn from them. Or like the Dream Bible, there's a therapeutic interpretation of what you're seeing in your dreams. This means this means this. Oh, you were covered in spiders? That means you're anxious. Like, oh, really? Like things like that. And I've had some dreams in my adult life. I'm 31 right now. And in the past 5 years, I've had dreams that shook me, and I woke up in genuine dread and terror.
And that's how I wake up when I have those dreams, and I feel exhausted. I feel like I haven't even got a wink of sleep. It feels like I just went to bed and I'm already awake. It's the weirdest experience ever, and I know that it's something not of this world. Same with I feel like it's the same thing that was trying to get me in my sleep paralysis. It's the same thing that's trying to make me remember it in my dreams to maybe suck me back into sleep paralysis again. And that terrifies me because I have PTSD from the sleep paralysis. Like, it's scary. I was so scared to go to bed after the foot yanking thing. Like, I wasn't getting any sleep. It was pretty scary.
Even if you're living in a fearful state, that could be considered a win for malicious forces, right?
Exactly.
And there's this saying that fear and faith cannot occupy the same space. And if you're letting fear on stage, it's hard for faith to take up any stage time. And so with you gaining faith over the past decade, give or take, whatever it was, right? And strengthening your faith over the years, of course things have changed, but of course there would be this constant, it's a constant battle.
Yes.
Because if you, again, hypothetical, this is just speculation. Let's say one day you decide to just let it all go, you slip up, or you let your faith go, or whatever, you decide to leave religion as a whole. Well, that wall's down now.
Exactly.
And now that fear can come in and it can hit you in a different way. But actively choosing to keep your faith up and keep your protective wall up, it's going to keep knocking at the door. But what you're doing is obviously keeping it at a certain distance. You're going to be aware of the knocking. You're going to be aware. But you don't have to open the door for it.
Exactly. I kind of feel like now that I'm very strong in my faith, that if it came back, I would probably know maybe what to do or what to say in the dream, or maybe I would be able to, because now I'm very strong in my faith, right? So I feel like maybe that's why it's not happening now, because I was baptized 2 years ago.
Congrats.
We were baptized, and since then, a lot of the stuff has stopped. Even the shadow people that I was seeing, like, I don't really see them anymore.
Right.
So
it's all still there.
yes.
You just you're looking through different lenses now. You're
Exactly.
living in a totally different wavelength.
And I'm not scared anymore the way I was before. Like when I see the shadow people, I don't get scared. I'm not giving any energy to it because when I see them, they're obviously not hurting me or anybody around me in my house. So they obviously are not there to cause any harm. So I just don't give any attention to it when I see them.
Yeah, knowing it's there doesn't, yeah, it doesn't, just because it's there doesn't mean it's necessarily malicious. You may just be seeing something that we don't understand, right?
Exactly.
And
And the shadow people had never bothered me.
yeah, they're
They just
there.
kind of come and go and they trick me. They play tricks on us. Yes.
After that experience, and you start having these dreams, and your dreams at whatever intervals, tell me, until recently, obviously, it's been more spaced out, but you're bringing up shadow people. Tell me more about that. Where does this start in the timeline? Give me some
Well, the
examples of times that maybe it shocked you or scared you to see. Like the first time you saw it, did you even know what you were seeing? Can you describe the
um,
exact, not exact, but describe what you saw? I've had another person with a shadow figure story that was quite terrifying. And so, with you seeing stuff that you feel they don't have the malicious intent, I'm curious to see what sticks out to you with shadow people specifically.
So I remember seeing them as a kid. I don't remember any specific instances, but I know that I'd seen them. The one instance that, or there are two instances, same house or multiple instances. When me and my husband lived in the new house together, I was pregnant at the time, and that's when they really started coming around. Could be somebody that has passed on, but we were sleeping in bed, and there was a man with gigantic hands just standing at our bedroom door. And he wasn't saying anything. He just stood there. And I woke up my husband and I said, somebody's in our room. And he looked over and he couldn't see it. I said, he's very tall. He's a large man with very big hands. And he said, that's my Opa. And he went back to bed. And I felt fine. I was like, okay.
Jeez.
Another time,
Wait a
this
second. Way too nonchalant of your husband.
he just said, that's my grandpa. And he went back to bed, like
Yeah.
his Opa. I think he was just really tired.
I'm sleeping.
Yeah, literally.
That's so funny. Okay, please continue. Sorry about that.
Oh, same house. My husband he was working and I was home by myself. This was a 100-year-old home. We've always lived in century homes. The house I'm in now, 100% haunted, but this house is 140 years old. I digress. Back to my story. I was sitting on the couch and our doors in our house, you know when everything kind of expands when the weather is like humid?
Yeah.
So the doors in our house were very hard to close in the summertime. This was summer around probably this time 2017 because I was about to give birth to my son in October, and I was just sitting on the couch and all of a sudden the basement door just opens and I'm like, what the heck is going on? And I walk over and I close it, and then it does it again. It did it like 3 times. I'm like, you know what, fine. So I just left it and I was like, okay. And then when I looked down the stairs, there was a shadow person there and just running across the basement. I was like, oh, okay. So I left the door open. I was like, I don't want to play this game all day. That was a really weird experience. I didn't go down into the basement for a little while.
Well, yeah.
And the reason we chose this house, when we first went to go see the house, it has a walk-up attic. And I went up into the attic with the real estate agent. There was a phone, an old phone, like one of those old ones that you put like actually down on the thing.
Yeah.
The phone started ringing when we were in the attic. I don't even think it was connected to anything. And I just started, yeah, I came running down the stairs with the real estate agent. I said, this is the house. Because I was talking to my grandma. I said, give me a sign if this is the house. And the phone rang. And we had nothing but, we had paranormal experiences in that house, but every single person that lived in that house after us have had nothing but bad things happen to them. The first lady, unfortunately, they bought the house. She went through domestic abuse. They never lived in the house. The second lady lived in the house for only 6 months and then got in a head-on collision and passed away. And nobody's lived in the house since.
There's a movie in the making here.
Sounds like it, right? But they never bothered us. They never bothered us. And we would talk to them. I'm like, if you're here, like, you're not hurting us, so you can stay.
Yeah. Don't be a dick and we'll be fine. Like that's kind of what it comes down
Exactly.
to.
Well, they knew I was getting mad when the door kept opening and it would just creak because everything was old in that house. And I kind of got a little bit upset. And like it was just like, oh, go away. And then finally it stopped. And then that's when I saw the shadow person at the bottom of the stairs.
That is so crazy.
So that's why I say, is it something that follows me? Because I have every house I've lived in, there's been an experience.
I think this is again my personal opinion and speculation. I think you just are like, you're like a lightning rod.
Hmm. I think it's my energy because I have good energy. Even with people, a lot of people are drawn to me. Maybe the spirits are too, because I'm
I,
pretty bubbly and I have that personality where I'm happy go lucky, right? So,
yeah, yeah. They notice you because you can notice them, because they can notice you because you can notice them. Like it's kind
yeah,
of a you invite, you can't help but I see you, we
ex-
see we're,
exactly.
and so it's like, well, now that we're aware, we're gonna mess with you, and whether it's silly or malicious, like the doors, the line is open,
Yeah.
for better or for worse. And
Well, last night it was for better. I got to talk to my dad.
exactly, and owning those things and tuning it in and really fine tuning your spiritual gifts. That's where you're getting better experiences like that instead of all these malicious attacks, as it were.
Yeah.
So
I have somebody who's a medium and she's trying to help me bring my spiritual gifts out because she said she knows that I have them, but I just don't know how to use them yet.
I see your life, your cliff notes, your spark notes you've just given me. Your experiences look like you're someone who has obviously sensitivity, but you've got eyes to see spiritual things. You've
Hmm.
got an openness to it. And like I said, I think the you're a light in the dark, and whatever is in the dark can see the light, right? So it's
Exactly.
gonna go to it like a moth to a flame. So
Yeah.
how do you use that? How do you hone that? I don't know. But
I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out though.
yeah, yeah, and I hope you do. It sounds like really you've come far enough to where it's maybe you don't know how to quote unquote use it, but you know how to keep certain things at bay now more.
And it doesn't scare me as much anymore now
Yeah.
because I
Yeah.
realize if the sleep paralysis came back, then okay, I know something's maybe after me. But right now with the shadow people, they're not harming me. They're not doing anything to me. I have a lot of loved ones that have passed around me. So, maybe it's them or maybe it's spirit guides. These ones don't feel evil. These ones don't feel like they have bad intentions.
And that's where discernment, just your general common sense, and just comes into play as well. You have to be the judge, right? We can't just assume it's good or bad. We have to judge it by its fruits, right? What's it doing?
Yes.
Is it causing fear, confusion? Is it leading you away from your faith? Is it leading you towards your faith? Is it neutral, right? So you have to look at all that's going on and then say, seems fine.
All of
Or
these things definitely led me to God. So
then
if
there you go.
anything came out of it, if anything came out of this demons, haha, I found God.
Yeah,
So thank
gotcha,
you for that.
suckers.
So, you guys played yourselves.
Yeah, that's funny. So yeah, I mean, it really is fascinating, and it sounds like through a lifetime of experiences and sensitivity to these things, you've come a long way. And I'm happy that you're not living in the fear,
Yeah,
because I feel like that kind of feeds it.
it does.
Uh, like I
It was
said,
happening a lot when I was scared. When I was
yeah,
scared, it was
yeah,
happening a lot more. I feel like being a parent has made me less scared because, like having to be the one that's not scared for my kids when they're scared has made me have to really discern things for myself. So being brave for my children is what makes me brave as well, because if I show them fear, they're going to be scared. So just like if there's a spider, right? I used to be terrified of them. Now I go pick them up with a napkin and tell my kids, no, we're kind to living things. And we take the spider outside in a napkin. Where 10 years ago, I would have gone screaming, running out of the house, wanting to burn the house down. So, things can change and
yeah,
you change and you evolve and your energy changes and, you
yeah,
know,
yeah. I love it.
so
I agree. I agree.
yeah.
So shadow people doesn't bother you. You're over a hump of sorts. What else sticks out in your entire life history of crazy events like this happening to you? Anything that comes to mind that you want to share?
My dad was killed in a motorcycle accident in 2022, and ever since he's passed away, I get dimes. I find dimes everywhere I go, and I swear I haven't had cash on me in years, so I don't even know where these dimes come from, but I will come, say I'm coming from the other room, I come in this room, there'll be a dime on my seat, and I'm like, "That wasn't there 5 minutes ago."
Hmm.
Or,
What a
like,
peculiar
stuff like
thing.
that now that my dad's not around. My sister cardinals follow her around. One sat at the window of her baby's, my niece's, first birthday party, it sat at the window and just watched. So there's other spiritual things that have happened that are like, they're little signs from dad or, the universe or God, whatever you believe in. But no, there's not really much more scary stuff that really stands out to me. Those are my major stories. But I feel the more spiritual I get with God, the more I'm less scared and the more I feel like I can kind of take on anything because he'll make you feel stronger,
Yeah,
less fear.
absolutely. Absolutely. Well, and that's, I like hearing the sweet
Oh,
stories too. I really do. I like hearing the more uplifting things because while the show's called Unholy Vibes and that's what we're here for, no one says we can't have a little lighthearted or like uplifted. And every time someone comes at me with one, I'm like, oh, see, it's good. We're just bringing up the vibe now. We're happy. So like it's a palate cleanser, right? It's like a mood palate
exactly.
cleanser.
I
So
talk about something dark and you got to talk about something light. It's balancing the scales.
balance, yes, yes,
Balance is good.
perfect. Well, if there's anything else you want to share, I'm here for it. And if you feel good about what we've got out, then I'm also good.
I don't really have any more. I'd have to really think on them. I have like some secondhand stories that I could tell you, but I'd have to save those for another night.
I don't. I want it directly from the source.
All right.
If
Then maybe
if
I'll have to get
possible.
my mom. Maybe I'll have to get my mom on here because she saw a ghost in our kitchen, a lady and a little girl when she first moved into this house that I'm living in right now.
Yes, yes, absolutely yes. Okay, cool. Well, I'm happy if you're happy, and I would love to meet your mom and hear her stories. So that's fine by me to
Perfect.
ask her about it. But I'm glad you came on. And you know what?
Thank you.
It's felt like 5 minutes. We'd be like, bam. It
I
just
know.
seemed
It felt
like
like really quick. See, energy. When the energy's good, the time flies. Everything in this world is energy.
yes, yes. Good vibes. Not all unholy vibes,
Yes.
but they're good, right? Brittany, you've been an awesome guest. I'm very happy you came on. I'm glad our paths crossed. You go ahead if you want to plug your socials, tell people where they can find you, and give them your live schedule, whatever you want, and tell the people where they can find you.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being an amazing host. It was so nice to finally meet you, first of all. Second of all, I have a TikToker, do live shows, and funny content. My name is Baked with Brit. You can also find me on Instagram at Baked with Brit 420. And I have Discord at Baked with Brit. And what else do I have? I think that's it. And I'm on Kick at Baked with Brit.
Excellent, excellent. And I know I'm interrupting the live schedule tonight, but typically, when do you go live? Is it?
Every night, I usually try to come on around 9, and I'm on until usually 12, depending on the night. So
And that's Eastern time, everyone. Just FYI.
yeah,
Right. Yeah. Okay.
yeah, I'm
Excellent.
in I'm in Ontario, Canada. So
Excellent. Okay. You've been awesome. If I get any other questions, comments, concerns after the episode comes out, I'll let you know. If you have any other things that come up or your mom doesn't want to come on the show, just reach out. We're homies now. Everyone, if you have any questions for Brittany, you know where to send them. You can email unholywibespod@gmail.com or DM me on Instagram. That's what I check the most. That is at Unholy Vibes Pod on Instagram. Unholy Vibes Pod. Thank you, thank you, thank you again. You've been awesome. And
thank you. You're an awesome host.
thank you. That makes me feel that.
Very easy to talk to. This just flowed really nicely. I loved it. This was my first podcast cast experience. I guess it's going to be my best one if I ever do another one. This is so fun.
I'm really glad you had a good time. Thank you for coming on the show. Everyone, check Brittany out on her socials. Consider sharing this episode. Consider sharing the show with someone who you know who likes spooky stuff. If you have any stories, if you know anyone with any stories, send them my way. You know that I'm in this for the love of the game. More listeners means more guests, means more stories for you. Thank you, everyone, for listening. This has been Unholy Vibes. Stay spooky, and we'll see you next time. Bye.